innocent. Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. Attempts have been made on the life of a notorious hoodlum in your city. His death could mean an open gang war. Your job, stop it.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, July 18th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 5:35 p.m. when we got out of the car at Sunset Boulevard and Paris Avenue and walked down the street to the scene of the machine gunning, Lupo's Cafe.
Look at that, Joe.
Yeah.
Ripped out the whole front of the place.
Yeah. Hi.
Yes, sir.
Romero and Friday, homicide.
Oh, I'm Sheldon from Hollywood Division. Taylor and I picked up the call in our car. Nobody hurt.
What's the story?
Just a second. It's Captain Elliott. Hold it a minute, will you, Sheldon?
Hi.
Hi, Captain.
Not much of it left.
Sheldon here was in the cruiser car. He'll fill us in.
All right.
The intended victim was Gus Valentine. He's over there with Taylor, my partner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
According to Valentine, he stopped in the restaurant here for a drink. He was in there about 15 minutes, came out to hail a cab, and this car came around the corner. Down there, Sunset and Clayton. They whipped by close to the curb and opened up.
Mm-hmm. I've got the laundry there on one side of the place and a dry cleaning joint on the other side.
Yes, sir, miracle, but nobody was hit.
Did you get anything on the car?
Nothing so far. Happened so fast, nobody got a good look at it.
How about Valentine? Does he have any ideas?
I don't know. Taylor's getting the information.
Nobody saw anything? Any witnesses?
Yes, sir. A couple. Newsboy Tim Benson. The lady in the dry cleaning place, Agnes Rebard.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them got a license number.
Okay. I'd like to talk to Valentine.
Sheldon, keep the area clear, will you? Lab men are on their way out.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
I told you I had many ideas.
Green Fort's it in, that it?
Yeah.
Elliott, Central Homicide.
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Valentine, the intended victim.
Yeah. This is Sergeant Friday, Sergeant Romero.
Sergeant Friday, how are you? Fine. It's been a long time.
Finally got out of the uniform, huh?
7 years ago. Who was it, Gus?
If I knew, I'd tell you. I don't like being shot at. Let's go sit in the car. This way, Valentine. You want to get him back?
All right.
All right. What's the story, Valentine?
How do you mean?
Let's not play it cozy. Who's after you?
You suppose this would have happened if I knew? Who's carrying the beef? Somebody's unhappy with you. You must know who.
I don't.
You know what kind of a car it was?
I told the other cop over there. Sedan, green Ford. We're not going to press you, Valentine, but you might as well know how we peg this kind of thing.
Yeah?
We got your number, had it for a long time. You're all up and down the blotter from Lincoln Heights to the county jail. You got a record everybody in this town knows about.
Aren't you a little mixed up? I'm the guy that got shot at.
We know that.
I pay my taxes for protection, not a lecture on my past. Let me give you the word, Valentine. I've known you for a long time, and I've read about you in the newspapers. I've watched your so-called climb from two-bit penny ante rackets all the way up. Now, you've been told more than once about keeping your nose clean.
This is a switch, isn't it? Man gets shot at, cops read riot act, innocent victim.
Look, we know you and we know that crowd you run with. If you want to start a war around a battlefield, don't pick the streets of Los Angeles to fight it out.
I think I asked for it the way you men talk.
You did somewhere up and down the line. We know your operation. You walk the sideline marker all the way. Always got 1 foot inside the law. When you make yourself a target for some punk's machine gun, that's where you step outside.
Well, what are you going to do, eat me out and let the man with the machine gun get away?
We'll get him, whether you want to help us or not. We just don't have the time to run around jamming a cork in the barrel of every gun in town.
Before you get out of this car, let this sink in. There's not going to be any innocent people cut down by bullets that were meant for you.
Oh, I get it. My tax money's no good, huh? I pay a bigger chunk than most of the clouds in this town.
You haven't got a clear title to the city yet, and until you do, don't set up a shooting gallery.
Now, what do? Dig a foxhole till you get ready to tab whoever's taking pot shots at me?
You can tell us who it is.
You got all I know. Don't you think I'd want him picked up?
I think you're a liar. I think you better square your beef and knock off this gangster stuff. It's not going to be any more of this kind of thing, understand?
That's the trouble with civil service. It makes a big man out of you $200 a month. I've never passed an exam, but I keep in step.
You missed the first one, from the gutter to the sidewalk. Almost without exception, every city in the United States has its Gus Valentine. These men remain out of custody, not because of any lack of law enforcement, but because of their ability to hide behind the laws which are designed to protect the innocent and use them to their own advantage. They operate allowing only the thinnest margin possible between themselves and the state penitentiary. We drove back to Central Division. At 6:18 p.m., we were called to the chief of detective's office.
He wouldn't give you anything, huh?
Not a thing.
Usual line of smart talk.
Who's ever after him meant business. Those storefronts were a mess.
Yeah, they won't quit now. Just a minute. What's that intelligence number?
2821.
Oh, yeah. This is Brown. Captain White gone home? No, ask him to come up to the office, would you, please? Thanks.
If they do manage to tag Valentine, it could cause a pretty sour mess.
He's got enough flunkies around to parlay it into a fair-sized shooting war. Seen him started on less.
Was there any chance of pulling Valentine in until things simmer down?
No chance. We got nothing on him. Nothing we can prove.
He's got a few boys close to him. Maybe one of them could tell her.
Same 2 lawyers work for all of them. We'd pull them in, they'd be out in an hour in a writ.
You want to see me? Yeah, White. Sit down. That Valentine shooting this afternoon.
Yeah.
What's your guess?
There's been some talk. We heard he was hot. You knew that.
Yeah.
The way we figured, he's getting too big for his pants. He's coming up fast. Stepped on a lot of toes on the way. Shouldn't be too tough to find out why.
That's half of it. If we get that much, maybe we can find out who.
You got a big field to pick from. I can find you a dozen possibles.
Well, we don't need a dozen. All we want are the ones in that car this afternoon.
Who do you figure, Captain White?
Well, I kind of go along with Joe. Like I said, I think maybe we'll be able to peg Y a little faster. And we can go from there.
All right.
Well, let's take what we know about the guy. Let's just take this past year. We know he's got more than a good share of the Mexican narcotics traffic. That means he's taking business from the Eastern Syndicate.
That makes one of those boys a candidate.
That's right. Then there's the pinball machines. He's given Big Ernie Jacobs and Monk Watson a big push on those.
That puts him in the running.
Yeah, it's a long list. The horses, fancy poker games, prostitution, the works. He's squeezing them all. A lot of guys could be shooting at him with a machine gun.
Where do we start?
Legwork, lots of it, fast.
We'll start nosing around, see what we can pick up. Friday, you and Romero can give us a hand there.
Yes, sir.
All right with you, Elliot?
Fine.
I don't have to tell you we've got to move as quick as we can. We've got a lot of places to hit, and we haven't got too much time.
We'll keep Valentine under surveillance to make sure he doesn't try to square things with a gun.
Yeah. This is one the taxpayers wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Trying to keep a guy alive that'd be more dangerous dead. Wednesday, July 19th. Ben and I started making the rounds to find out why someone was out to get Gus Valentine. Captain was right. The list of his enemies was long. For 2 days, we talked to gamblers and bartenders at the usual hangouts. The few slim leads we picked up led nowhere. Saturday, July 22nd, we met with one of Ben's informants, a bar boy at a cafe out on Santa Monica Boulevard.
That's him over there at that table.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry? How are you?
Hiya, Ben. Grab a chair.
You know my partner, don't you?
Sure. Sit down, Joe. Want a beer?
No, thanks. We're working.
Coke?
Okay.
One's enough.
Here you go.
Okay.
Good and cold. Doctor cut me down 1 beer a day. It's a spot on a hot day, don't it?
Yeah. What about Valentine?
What about him?
You hear anything since I phoned you?
A couple of things. Word's getting around. He's a welcher.
Horses?
I don't know. Big money. Hasn't paid off yet.
Who does he owe?
I can give you the name of one of them. Sal Tapper.
I don't know him.
Meatpacking business. Wholesaler. Got a big plant down at 54th and Commercial. Owns a little neighborhood bar. That's where he spends most of his time.
Where's that?
Gardena. Calls it the Mile High.
And what about this Salt Tapper?
What do you mean?
How close is he to Valentine?
You mean one of his boys?
Yeah.
No. Valentine's his book, that's all.
Well, supposing Valentine owed him a wad of dough, would he push his point?
How do you mean?
Would he use pressure to collect?
Maybe a meat cleaver, not a machine gun. I don't figure him in on that Tuesday caper. Sure you don't want this set of Coke?
No, thank you. What time you go to work?
Plenty of time. One bottle of beer ain't hardly enough.
Any rumbles about the shooting?
How do you mean?
Anything worth repeating?
Oh, everybody says the same thing. He's got it coming.
Who is everybody?
The homeowners, neighborhood Joes. They got it all pegged.
What's the popular guess?
A dame.
Well, that's about it, huh, Jerry?
That's about it.
What's your guess?
Fresh out, I don't know. How come you guys are so worried about Gus Valentine? I didn't think you cared whether he lived or died.
Either way, we're in trouble. We left the cafe on Santa Monica Boulevard and drove out to Gardena to the Mile High Bar. It was a typical neighborhood tavern with the windows painted in black except for 2 small ovals in the center of each window. They were filled with beer signs and red neon. The cloth sign advertised shuffleboard and life-size television. Inside, the walls were covered with alpine mountain climbers trying to fight their way up a mountain that looked twice as steep as the Matterhorn.
You need 10 nickels, will you, Leonard? Can you tell us where we can find Sal Tapper?
Yeah, I'm in. Thanks, Lynn. What do you want?
Police officers. I'd like to talk to you.
Sure, what about him?
Gus Valentine.
Yeah?
He owes me money. Is that all you've got against him?
As much as he owes me, that's enough. This is a real tough machine to do.
How much money does he owe you?
Enough.
How long has he been booking for you?
I didn't say he was booking for me.
No, we did.
About 2 years. Come on. Get it. 4,000 on the first ball. I got to do better than that.
Where were you Tuesday afternoon?
At the packing house.
Can you prove it?
Would I say it if I couldn't prove it? When that little gate up there turns green and you go through it, you get an extra ball. If it's red, it doubles your score, but it's real tough to get in there.
How long has Valentine owed you money?
Oh, a little over a week.
When did he say he'd pay you?
He didn't say. Said he was trying to raise the dough.
You're the only one he owes?
No. There's a couple of more guys in town.
You know who they are?
No.
How do you know he owes somebody besides you?
I heard.
Did he say why he hasn't paid up?
What'd you say?
Did he say why he hasn't paid
I
up?
told you. He said he was trying to raise the money.
You sure you haven't tried to put the bite on him?
Sure I have. I want the dough. But I didn't gun him.
Somebody did.
Yeah, I know. No, it wasn't me.
You had a reason.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah. We're looking for the one with the machine gun.
Well, I can't help you there. Oh, come on. Oh. Get in here. Hey, look at that. Free ball. $26,000. Now, that's a real tough machine to beat.
What did you say you worked Tuesday?
At my packing plant, 54th and Commercial.
Okay.
How long have you known Gus Valentine?
About 4 years. I met him at a party out in Hollywood. It's the first time I've ever known him to welch.
Mm-hmm.
In there. Now.
27,000. I'm not doing so good, am I?
I don't know. Depends on where you were Tuesday. 12:30 p.m. We talked with the superintendent of Tapper's meatpacking house. He told us that Sol Tapper had been there all day when Gus Valentine was shot at. We talked to several employees of the plant. They corroborated his story. We checked Tapper out and found him to be a fairly respectable businessman who gambled a great deal on the side, but we felt reasonably sure that he had no part in the shooting. We knew that if we could run down the others to whom Valentine owed money, we'd be closer to finding out why he was being shot at and eventually get to the right man. 1:45 p.m. Ben and I went upstairs to the 8th floor of the City Hall, the lunchroom. We had a sandwich and coffee.
Too close to dinner to have a piece of that pie, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Hand me another napkin, will you?
Yeah. Here.
Thank you.
Think you'd do any good to talk to Valentine again?
Maybe. I doubt it. He's not going to tell us anything.
I figure we're on the right track. A lot of reasons why he might be a target, but this welching business, that's new to him.
Could be.
You Sergeant Friday?
That's right.
Telephone.
Wait a minute. I'll go with you. I'm finished.
No, you got the check. I'll get the tip.
Oh, all right.
Slide that phone over, will you?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Friday.
Elliot, come down to Chief Brown's office right away.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Pie sure did look good.
Come on, let's get that elevator.
Yeah. Hey, who called?
The skipper. He wants us to go to Chief Brown's office.
Campbell Street floor, please. What's up?
I don't know.
You make the runs again tonight?
Yeah, a couple places we can hit in the south end of town. I called Charlie Flint's place this afternoon. Maybe he'll have something for us.
Yeah, I hope so.
Come on.
Wish now I'd had that pie. I'm still hungry.
I got a candy bar in my desk. We can have that.
I can't eat those chewy bars inlays.
Oh, it's some kind of a fudge bar.
Oh, fine.
Come in.
Yes, sir.
Get over to Georgia Street right away.
Why?
Gus Valentine. They did it again.
Yeah?
This time they didn't miss.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to an actual police case. Here, step-by-step, are the reasons why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers from coast to coast.
Step 1. The name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality. Step 2. Long cigarette smokers discover Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma. Step 3. Long cigarette smokers find Fatima extra mild. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild.
And that's why more and more smokers every day agree
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Yes, the name Fatima on that golden yellow package is your insurance of an extra mild smoke.
So enjoy king-size Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
Saturday, July 22nd, 5:30 p.m. We drove to the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and went up to the 3rd floor. We talked to the doctor in charge, who told us that 2 slugs had been taken from Gus Valentine's right leg and 1 from his right shoulder. They had been marked for identification. He was in fair condition. We talked with the patrolman who made the ambulance follow-up. They told us Valentine had been shot as he entered his apartment house garage. There were no eyewitnesses. We went in and talked to Valentine.
You told the officers that the guy who shot you was on foot.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Couldn't tell.
You haven't any idea who it could have been?
No,
You don't expect us to swallow that again, do you?
I don't care either way.
Why don't you pay up what you owe?
What do you mean?
You owe some big money you haven't paid off.
Where'd you get that?
That's the word going around. Looks to us like you either pay up or get shot up.
Did I ask for advice?
No, and here's something else you didn't ask for. Twice in 1 week you've been mixed up in shooting scrapes. We told you the city doesn't belong to you.
I don't claim ownership.
Now listen, we've been over this before, and this is the last time. Don't push us any courage. We know you talk big and you haven't got the guts to go along with it.
Yeah, sure.
Now come on, who's shooting at you?
I know your phone number. I'll call you if I need help. I'll take care of this myself.
Valentine, the first time you pull a cap gun, we're going to sit on you. If there's any retaliating, we'll do it.
I'm tired of sitting like a duck on a pond.
Then tell us who's gunning for you.
That's between me and them. I'll meet them when I'm ready.
All right. We're through talking. When we get to the bottom of this and find out who's been doing all the shooting, we'll have an answer. And if we find out you've been withholding evidence, it's going to go hard for you, understand?
Yeah, sure. Now leave me alone.
Come on, here.
Yeah. I better call the office.
Homicide, Graham.
Captain Elliott there?
I'll see. Captain, will you take two?
Elliot,
This is Friday, checking in on the Valentine thing.
what's the story?
Couldn't get anything out of him. He isn't hurt bad. Right leg and shoulder.
All right. Here's something you can run down.
Yeah?
Got a tip from White in Intelligence. He's got a man out at Freddy's Fish and Chips on Slauson. Says a couple of guys in there blowing off about Valentine.
Who are they?
Billy Keel and Tony Farrar.
They're not on Valentine's team.
That's right. White's man says the party's getting rough out there. You, Romero, better follow up on it.
Right?
Another thing, if it looks like anything, you better bring him in for questioning.
Okay.
Check me when you get in.
Right. Let's go.
What is it?
Keel and Farrar. Skipper wants us to pick him up and bring him in for questioning.
What do they know about the shooting?
They know enough to talk about it. 7 p.m. We located Freddy's Fish and Chips place on Slauson near Montgomery Street. A dozen or so tables at the back of the restaurant were already taken with the overflow lined up 2 deep at the bar. The man from intelligence detail was down at the far end of the steam table nursing a cheese sandwich. He motioned us over and pointed out Billy Keel and Tony Farrar. They were sitting at one of the tables along with 4 other men drinking Boilermakers and eating French fried potatoes. Ben and I made our way through the crowd toward the back tables. Sorry.
Right.
Pardon me. Can I get through here, please?
All right. So it figures. Done it?
You, Billy Keel?
That's right. Which one's Tony Farrar? He's getting a beer. What do you want?
Police officers want to talk to you and Farrar downtown.
What's the matter?
I'd like to ask you a few questions. You want to get your hat?
You got any questions, you can ask them here. Hey, Vic, how about buying around? Come on, Keel, let's go. I got nothing to tell you now. Let me alone.
There's 2 ways to go downtown, the hard way and the easy way. Let's take the easy way.
All right.
This way.
Okay. Yeah. You're bleeding pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. Let's get him to the car. Look at your suit. It's ripped to pieces.
My wife's going to kill me.
One of the officers in the ambulance follow-up drove our car back to the city hall. Tony Farrar and Billy Keel were taken to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital for emergency treatment. We went in the same ambulance. Ben had a broken index finger, a 2-inch cut in his scalp, and a deep gash in his right thigh. I had 5 stitches taken in my upper right arm and 3 above my left eye. My right eye was swollen shut. The man from intelligence detail was taken to the P&F ward to be treated for a minor concussion. It was 9:15 p.m. when we got back to the city hall, the interrogation room.
How about it, Keel? What?
What do you know about the Valentine shooting?
I don't know anything about it.
You're worried.
About what?
You tell us. You started that fight out there.
I didn't see any reason to go downtown. Does Valentine owe you any money? No.
You've been talking a lot.
Any law against that?
Why'd you shoot Gus Valentine?
I didn't shoot him. Can you account for your time Tuesday afternoon? I don't have to answer that. Where were you this afternoon? My lawyer's coming in. Ask him.
How much money does Valentine owe you?
Keel, ever see this before?
I don't even know what it is.
We found that machine gun in your apartment.
Doesn't belong to me.
We got your car downstairs. Green Ford sedan.
Doesn't belong to me.
White slip's got your name on it. Here's something else with your name on it. 2 chits for $750 signed by Gus Valentine. Money he owes you on the horses.
You shot him, didn't you?
I don't see how you can prove it.
I'll tell you how. We ran this Tommy gun through the crime lab. We dug the same slugs out of the front of those stores where you tried to kill Valentine. Your prints are all over the gun. How much more do you want?
It's not my gun.
All we got to do is find the .45 you used this afternoon and match it up with the slugs we dug out of Valentine's leg, and, mister, you'll be away for a long time.
All right. We used the Tommy gun. We didn't hit him. Didn't try. Only wanted to scare him. I got tired of waiting for my dough. I got no use for a welcher.
What about this afternoon?
No, sir. Me and Farrar didn't have nothing to do with that. I'll take the machine gun rap, but it wasn't us this afternoon.
Elliot, Friday, step outside a minute.
Yeah.
Valentine.
Yeah?
Somebody just blew his hospital room full of holes.
It took us 17 minutes with red light and siren to get to the Ferndale Sanitarium where Gus Valentine was recovering from his gunshot wounds. 3 cruiser cars were out front when we pulled up. We went to room 12 in the west wing.
There's the doctor, Joe.
Yeah. How is he, Doctor?
He was dead when we got in here. He had a private nurse. Shot her, too. Dead.
Anyone else hurt?
It was visiting hours. Some woman was in there talking to him. She got hit. We're treating her down in the emergency room.
Appreciate it, Doctor, if you keep your staff out of the room here until we finish our investigation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let's have a look inside.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
He didn't fool this time.
Too bad he wouldn't give us more help.
Yeah.
We're no worse off than we were. We still have to find out who it was without him.
I hope we can get to him before Valentine's crowd starts shooting back.
We got to. Anyway, this cancels out his debts.
You know his record.
Yeah.
He owed a lot more than he could ever pay.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 26th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 97, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Billy Keel and Tony Farrar were tried and convicted of assault with intent to commit murder. They were filed on by the federal authorities, Bureau of Alcohol and Tax Unit, for the illegal possession of a machine gun and were found guilty in federal court. Because they were both in custody at the time of Gus Valentine's murder, they were cleared of any complicity of the crime. Valentine's killer was still at large.
Next week, The Big Gangster, Part 2.
You have just heard Dragnet, authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Today, the American Red Cross is carrying on a campaign to finance one of the greatest programs in peacetime history. Give now to the Red Cross.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A notorious hoodlum in your city has been shot to death. A gang war is threatened if his followers seek revenge. Your job, find the killers.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Saturday, July 22nd. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 10 p.m. when we walked out of the murder room at the Ferndale Sanitarium and went down to the end of the hall, the emergency room.
I'm sorry. I know that's hurt. We have to irrigate the wound.
Where are the bullets that were removed from Miss Stalling?
Right on the table, Doctor.
There they are, Captain Elliott.
Thank you. Romero, you want to mark her for evidence?
All right. Doctor?
Yes, Sergeant.
Wonder if it'd be all right if we asked Miss Stallings a few questions.
I think so. She's still in a bad state of shock. If it'll be as brief as possible.
Yes, sir.
Miss Stallings, these men are police officers. This is Captain Elliott. This is Sergeant Friday, all right?
That's right. It's my partner, Sergeant Romero.
Yes.
You were in the room when Gus Valentine was shot?
Yes.
Do you feel up to telling us what happened?
No. Excuse me, please.
Surely.
I have to paint this. Get a compress on it.
You were visiting Valentine?
You better wait until the nurse finishes up there.
All right, sorry.
She got hit twice, just flesh wounds, but they're very painful.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Surely.
You're all right. I can reach it. There. All right.
You were in the room when Valentine was shot?
Yes, I saw it.
Did you get a look at the men that did the shooting?
I don't remember.
Did you describe them?
I don't know.
You sure you're feeling up to talking now?
I don't know.
Have you any idea who the men were?
No.
Maybe we can talk to you later.
I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. You hear me? You hear me?
Nervous shock.
I'm sorry. We didn't mean to upset her.
You didn't. Thought maybe she might be able to help you a little, but I guess not. Better make it sometime tomorrow morning. She'll be all right then.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know if I saw him. I don't know if I saw him. How should I know if I saw him? How should I know?
Let's go. Oh, it's too bad. Better have an ambulance move her up to county hospital.
I don't think you should try to move her tonight. She needs a rest.
All right, we'll have a detail of men stand watch here till she's moved.
What time tomorrow could we see her?
If you can make it close to noon, it'd be better. Good rest, she'll be all right. Better let me give you a ring.
Right.
Could you give us her full name and address?
Yes, I have it right here. Item A, Stallings, 837 Downhill Street, Linwood.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else here in the sanitarium see the shooting?
Well, I saw the man. I couldn't describe them, just their backs as they ran down the hall after the shooting.
How were they built, do you remember?
About average, I'd say. Hard to tell.
How were they dressed?
Well, one of them was wearing a hat. Looked like some kind of summer hat.
Straw?
No, it was one of those, what am I trying to say? You know the kind.
Was it an open weave hat?
No, well, you know, very common in the summer.
You mean a Panama?
Panama, sure, that was it. White.
What kind of suits did they have on?
I couldn't tell you. I was in my office when I heard the shots. I came out in the corridor, and they were just making it to the back door.
Anyone else see it?
Sylvia Proctor, the nurse who was in the room at the time. Why'd they kill her?
I don't know.
Any of the patients? Is it possible one of them might have seen him?
Yes, one of them did see something. Bert Anderson. Like to talk with him?
Yes, we would.
And down this way. He's in room 38, just down the hall from the shooting.
All right.
I should tell you, Mr. Anderson lost a speech about 9 years ago. He uses a child's slate to write on.
Why is he here in the sanitarium?
He's old, 73, lives on a pension. Except for losing his speech, he's as sharp as a high school boy. Hello, Bert. Sorry to bother you after all the excitement. Yeah, all right. We won't keep you up long. It's after your bedtime. Would you hand me that box of chalk over there?
Oh, yeah.
Bert, these are the police officers. I want you to tell them what you know about the shooting tonight. I thought you might have seen it. This is Captain Elliott from the Homicide Department.
How you do, Mr. Anderson?
And this is Sergeant Friday, is that right?
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
And this is Sergeant Romero.
How do you do, sir?
Where were you at the time of the shooting, Mr. Anderson? Sitting in here with the door open, huh? Did you get a good look at the men? What'd they look like?
Question, Nora.
I don't think he understands what you want to know. Yes, that's the trouble.
Let's put it this way, Mr. Anderson. How many men were there? Let's take one of these two men. Can you describe one of them?
That's the way, Captain. That slate's rather small, and he can only get so much on it at a time. He's like all of us. He wants to talk fast, and this is the only way he knows, so we have to make it easy for him.
I understand.
Built like the captain. Your bill, Skipper. The same man had a thin mustache. That's all I can tell you about him.
How about the other man, Mr. Anderson? Can you describe him? Please. What's that second word? I can't make it out.
Understand. They were running very fast.
Thanks. Yes, we understand. Did you see the other man at all? Fine. What can you tell us about him?
All he could see was the man was wearing a hat.
A white Panama hat, Mr. Anderson?
He says yes.
Was there anything peculiar about the way they walked or ran? Or did one of them have a limp, for instance?
Didn't notice anything. Says he didn't notice anything. Could you tell us anything about the men's faces? They passed by so quickly. I was worried about the gunshots. Yes, we can understand that, but do you think you could identify them if you ever saw them again?
He says he could try.
Could Mr. Anderson come downtown if we ever show up?
I don't see why not, but gets around fine. Now he wants to know why they killed Miss Proctor, the nurse. He says she was one of his best friends.
We don't know, Mr. Anderson.
Says he wishes he could talk. Maybe he could help you more.
It's all right, Bert. You talk loud enough. Monday, July 24th, a roundup of all known racketeers and their gang members was ordered by the chief of detectives. 3 show-ups were scheduled, one at 10 a.m., one at 2, and another one at 3 p.m. The witnesses that we had were unable to identify any of the men. The incomplete descriptions we had of the suspects was not enough to help the artist in the crime lab to build a composite picture of the killers. No matter what approach we took, it seemed that we were getting nowhere. The immediate apprehension of the killers was not only important because of their danger to the private citizen, but because of the ever-present threat of an open shooting war between Gus Valentine's followers and members of the murder gang, whoever they were. 3:15 p.m.
I got it. Homicide, Romero. Oh, Yelly. All right, thanks. Crime lab.
They make a run on those slugs you got at the hospital?
Yeah, no match.
Oh, that's great.
How fouled up can it get?
Yeah.
Hi.
Come on, Slow-Mo.
I'm with you.
Hi, Rambo.
Cromwell's message here to call you why?
Well, yeah, I better do it right away.
Just know the skipper told Stormy me to work with you guys on the Valentine thing. We can use all the help we can get.
Joe, you slide the phone over?
Oh, yeah, here you go.
What's the matter? Change your mind?
You let her ring once. She knows the signal. She's over at the mother-in-law's.
Yeah?
Mother-in-law's got lots of money and a limited phone. Let her call me.
You got any ideas, Earl?
Well, I don't know anybody who liked Valentine. A lot of them could have killed him. Just got word from the crime lab there's no match on those slugs.
And you didn't get anything out of the show-ups?
No, no.
Maybe that Stallings woman can give us something, huh?
You haven't been out there yet?
No, not yet. We've been sweating out the show-ups.
Stormy and I read your reports. Rough go. We had an idea.
Yeah?
One of Valentine's boys you didn't get around to yet. Who's that?
Benny Davis. He was pretty close to him. Thought a lot of him. If anybody figures to take over his interest, it's probably Davis.
Well, you think advancement could have been the motive for him?
No, he wouldn't kill him. Anyway, he couldn't have. Just got in from Florida this morning. That doesn't mean he couldn't have engineered it. Possible, but I doubt it. Stormy and I know his operation pretty well. Pulled him in on that Patterson killing 6 months ago. Checked back to his record. Never picked up carrying a gun.
Well, it doesn't mean he couldn't get one in a hurry.
I'm not going to guarantee Davis, but I don't think he's your man, Joe.
You got a line on him?
Lives at the Churchill Arms out in Wilshire, near UCLA.
All right, we'll talk to him.
What was the name of that girl who was wounded, the one at the sanitarium? Ida Mae Stallings.
We'll go out and talk to her if you like.
Fine.
Who's going to see the Stallings woman at the sanitarium?
We are.
The doctor just called in from out there.
Oh, yeah?
Says she got something important to tell us.
What do you think?
She ran with Valentine. She knew his friends.
Yeah?
Maybe she knows his enemies.
As we planned, Detectives Rombo and Stromwall went out to the Ferndale Sanitarium to talk to Ida Mae Stallings. Ben and I drove out to the Churchill Arms apartments to see Benny Davis, one of Gus Valentine's close friends. He left a message with the desk clerk that he would be at his tailor's most of the day. The clerk gave us the address. It was an exclusive custom shop on Crescent Drive in the heart of Beverly Hills. Franklin Smith Limited. It was one of those places that featured imported Scotch tweeds and fine English woolens.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. May I serve you?
Could you tell us if Benny Davis is in here?
Mr. Davis. Yes, sir. Third fitting room. To the rear, on your left.
Thank you. Come on.
Look at that brown cloth over there, Joe.
Yeah, that's Donegal tweed. That's nice fabric.
I had me one of them once. Wears like iron.
Oh, yes. If this blue pinstripe certainly fits a great deal better than the brown one. You turn round. Yes? Yes. Excellent fit.
Yeah, looks fine. I don't know if I like that right shoulder.
Looks a little low, Mr. Davis.
Excuse me?
This fitting room's taken, gentlemen.
Benny Davis in here.
Yeah, what is it?
What if we could see you alone?
What about?
Confidential.
No, Cedric, not like that. Pull the shoulder up. More padding, maybe.
Oh, do you think so? I don't know if I agree, Mr. Davis.
Well, you can see how it slopes off there. I like a good full shoulder.
Well, you've got a good full cut here. Of course, too much padding is going to ruin the line of the jacket.
I'd like more padding.
Yes, very well. Number 2 pad on the right shoulder and ease the armhole.
Number 2 pad, right shoulder, ease armholes.
What is it, income tax? What's the secret?
We're police officers. Like to talk to you alone for a minute.
All right, be finished in a second.
That takes care of this one, Mr. Davis. You want 2-inch cuffs in the trousers?
Yeah, on all of them. Cedric, be sure to get these sleeves short enough. I'd like lots of linen to show.
Oh, yes, surely.
Now, if you'll slip on the green tropical.
Okay.
I'll take the jacket.
Thanks. Hey, want to tell me what it's all about?
Rather talk to you alone.
Here are the trousers.
Okay. Good-looking suit, huh?
Fine.
Yeah, get all my stuff made here. I'll let Smith here make you a suit sometime. Got a fine suit of clothes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Is your jacket, Mr. Davis?
Right.
That looks fine. Yes, the trousers are just right. A little fullness in the back of the jacket here.
Uh-huh.
And take in the center seam.
Take in center seam. How much?
And trimmed. Here's the back.
Raise the back.
Shorten the collar.
Shorten collar.
Yeah, looks just fine.
That's a nice soft roll of the lapels, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
All right, Mr. Davis. Now, how about the White Palm Beach?
Nice Panama hat would go good with that one.
I never wear them. I like a coconut palm with a wide puckery band.
Wonder if you could hold off the next fitting for a minute. We won't keep you long.
All right.
Any place around here where it's private?
We can use Smith's office. Okay, Frank?
Certainly. Go right ahead, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Which way?
Back here. Okay, what's on your mind?
Gus Valentine.
Yeah, that's a tough one to lose.
You got any idea who killed him?
We're working on it.
How do you mean?
Just that.
Well, that makes us even. There's only one difference.
Yeah?
We get paid for it. You don't.
We thought a lot more of Gus than you did. Any law against striking down the killers?
It's a law against shooting him down.
Tell that to the boys who cut down Gus. I don't think you can get to him without us.
We've done it before.
You're a little late with Gus.
We tried to keep him alive. We warned him for a month. He knew what was coming. We talked to him.
Yeah, he told me. Funny guy. He had a mind of his own. He had a reason for not telling you.
What was it?
When we get there, we can ask him.
You think you know who did it?
Won't be too tough to find out. Meantime, you can
work it from your end.
And if you get to him first?
Maybe we'll give you a call.
Now, you listen, Davis. I'll tell you the same thing we told Valentine. It's not open season for murder. This town's had all the shooting it's going to have. Valentine's killer's going to go to the gas chamber. That's the only way he's going to go. You understand?
Nobody said any different.
All right. Then you can tell us what you know.
Who do you think shot Valentine?
I can't be sure.
You've got somebody in mind?
There's a dame.
Who?
Audrey Thompson.
What about her?
She runs around with a couple of guys.
Yeah?
There's never any love lost between them and Gus. They were always talking big about what they'd do if Gus got on the line.
What'd they have against him?
Business claimed Gus was squeezing them out.
Was he?
I never knew much about Gus's out-of-town business. That's where these guys are from. They're new in town. Figured Gus was cutting them off out here on the coast.
Who are they?
Shaker Brothers, Bud and Carl.
Where can we find them?
I don't know. They're in town somewhere.
What about this Audrey Thompson?
Nice dame. Hard to figure. Husband died a year ago. Real nice woman. Been doing the town with the Shaker boys. Nobody can figure it.
You think she's in on it?
No, but she could finger him if anybody could. Lives at 8700 North Toronto.
All right, Davis, thanks. What's the new wardrobe for?
Going east to catch the new Broadway show leaving Wednesday.
Better hold off for a week, huh?
All right.
Come on, Ben.
Think he's got anything?
Could be. We'll run it down.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah?
Sure do like that brown cloth.
It's nice.
Sheldon, can I help you?
How long does it take you to make up a suit?
Anywhere from 3 days to a week.
Uh-huh.
You interested in having us make one up for you?
Yeah. Yeah, how do they run?
Prices start from $175 and up. This Donegal tweed here makes up for $250.
Oh. Well, I guess not, thank you.
Wears like iron.
4:30 p.m. We drove out to 8700 North Serrano to the home of Audrey Thompson. There was nobody home. We went back to the office to check with Rombo and Stromwall. We drove in the Spring Street entrance of the City Hall garage.
There's Rombo and Strom. They must have just got in. Hey, Rombo. Hi.
How'd you make out? Stallings woman tell you anything?
Well, we talked to her.
Think maybe we got a lead.
What's that?
Girl around town by the name of Thompson.
Audrey Thompson?
Yeah, that's right.
What'd she say about her?
That if anyone could put the finger on Valentine's killer, the Thompson girl could. Benny Davis told us the same thing.
What do you think, Earl?
2 and 2 makes 4.
Let's find her.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to an actual police case. Here, step by step, are the reasons why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers from coast to coast.
Step 1.
The name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality.
Step 2.
Long cigarette smokers discover Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Step 3.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima extra mild. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild.
And that's why more and more smokers every day agree
it's wise to smoke extra mild. Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Yes, the name Fatima on that golden yellow package is your insurance of an extra mild smoke.
So enjoy king-size Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
5 o'clock Monday afternoon. We tried for 3 hours to get in touch with Audrey Thompson. A few minutes after 8 p.m., we contacted her landlady. She told us that the Thompson girl was out of town and would be gone for 2 days. She didn't know where she'd gone, but she told us that she would be back. We checked her apartment and found all of her clothing and personal effects. A stakeout was placed at 8700 North Serrano, and then we went back to the office and got out a local broadcast on Audrey Thompson. Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. Ben and I met with Captain Elliott, Detectives Rombo and Stromwall.
Get a line on the Shaker brothers? Located them at the Eagle Towers apartments. Got them under surveillance.
I don't think it'd be a good idea to pull them in yet. See what the Thompson girl has to say, then we can move on them.
That's what we figured.
Pull the packages on them?
Yeah, they both got fair records. Been up on 3 raps, 1 conviction, second-degree robbery in Tulsa. That's where they're from.
Couple of tough ones, always ready to use a gun. Apparently got a wad of dough somewhere. They've been throwing a lot of money around town.
Pick up any rumbles about him?
Well, we've been nosing around. We can't get anything on them for sure. They're not known around here.
Shown the mug shots of the Shaker brothers to Mr. Anderson at the sanitarium. The doc, too.
Yeah.
Looks like the guys to them. Everything hinges on the Thompson girl.
Check her out?
Yeah, she used to be married to a newspaper man, Blaine Thompson. Died last year in an auto accident. No children. Went to high school here in town, local girl. Reputation's good all the way.
Why the sudden switch to tough guys?
I don't think she knows.
You satisfied Davis is leveling with you?
Well, if he's not, he did a good job briefing the Stallings woman. They both came up with the same lead, the Thompson girl.
We had him in on the Patterson killing. You remember that, Skipper? He cooperated then.
That time it was his skin. This time it's not.
Well, I laid it out for him. He's been told.
Well, how's it feel to you fellas? Pretty quiet around town?
Yeah, seems to be. I wouldn't make book on what might happen if we don't wrap this thing up quick.
I think after Joe and Ben gave Davis a word, he passed it down along the line. Anyway, there's an outside chance.
They just brought in the Thompson girl. Send her in. Right. You sit there, Miss Thompson.
All right.
Detectives Friday, Romero.
How do you do?
Bramwell, Rambo.
How do you do?
Guess you're wondering why you've been picked up.
Yes, I was rather surprised. I was down at Palm Springs for a few days. I don't often get away. My boss gave me a 2-day holiday.
What do you know about the Shaker brothers, Miss Thompson?
They're friends of mine. I go out with them.
We have reason to believe they might be mixed up in a murder.
I don't believe that. What's this all about?
The Gus Valentine killing.
Do you think they're mixed up in that?
How well do you know the Shaker boys?
Well, to be truthful, I don't know them at all, really. I met them at a dance.
Who introduced you?
Nobody. I go to the Brookdale Ballroom every Wednesday night with some of the girls from the office. It's open to the public. Carl Shaker asked me for a dance one night, and that's how I met him.
You ought to pick your companions a little more carefully. Both of these men have criminal records.
I didn't know that.
You've been out with them quite a lot, have you?
I've known them a little over a month, yes.
They ever said anything that might lead you to believe that they were mixed up in any rackets?
No, I never heard anything like that.
You're sure you never heard them discuss any business dealings of any kind?
Yes, I'm sure.
You've been seen in quite a few night spots around Los Angeles with them, is that right?
Yes, they always take me to some nice place.
You always go alone with them?
How do you mean?
Which one of them do you go with, Bud or Carl?
Well, I've never really thought about it. Both of them, I guess.
When you go out, they never take another girl along the party?
No, just Bud, Carl, and myself.
You go to most of the expensive clubs around town, is that right?
Yes, like I said, we always go to some nice place.
Do you ever wonder where they got the money?
Well, they told me they worked for one of the aircraft plants.
I thought you told us they didn't discuss their business with you.
Well, I didn't consider telling me where they worked was discussing business.
Did you consider that an aircraft worker's salary wouldn't even handle the cover charge at most of the places they've been taking you?
Well, no, I guess I was having too good a time to question it.
You see, Miss Thompson, you could spend a great amount of time with people and not remember things about them. Now, you sure you've told us everything you know about the Shaker brothers?
Yes.
All right, that's all. If you find out something you think we should know, we'd appreciate it if you'd give us a call.
Well, I won't be knowing anything about them because I'm going to stop seeing them. I didn't know they had criminal records.
That's entirely up to you. I think it's only fair to warn you that if you do have any information you're withholding, it liable you to persecution.
I understand. I'm not going out with them anymore.
I wouldn't let them know you've talked with us. If they are the men we're looking for, it might put you in danger.
I'm not afraid of it.
Neither was Gus Valentine. For the next 10 days, Aubrey Thompson, along with the Shaker brothers, was kept under close surveillance. It was obvious that she'd either lied to us or changed her mind. She continued going out with them. She was seen in all the important night spots around town. Thursday, August 9th, we met with Captain Elliott.
Skipper, maybe we better pull the Thompson girl in again for questioning.
Let's hold off for a few more days. I'm afraid if we bring her down here again, the Shaker brothers could get wise. Since she decided to ignore what we told her, they might get rough with her.
Why can't we move on them? Shake down their apartment. If we're lucky enough to come up with a murder gun, we can work from there.
I don't think so, Joe. The record and only one conviction. I think we'd be playing a long shot.
That's the way it looks to me, Earl. Maybe something will break if we can hold out just a few days more.
Yeah, being watched awful close. If they try to move in any direction, our men will be with them.
Friday.
Yeah.
Can you step out here for a minute?
Right. Excuse me.
Sure. Come back when you're through.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The lady out here to see you.
Thanks.
Mr. Friday.
Hello, Miss Thompson.
I didn't stop seeing the Shaker boys.
Yes, we know.
What you men told me a couple of weeks ago just made me sick. To think I'd been going out with these men, been seen with them. I've never done anything like that in my life.
Yes, ma'am.
I decided to try and find out what you wanted to know.
You didn't ask him any leading questions.
Oh, no, I knew better than that. Last night we were out and they had a little too much to drink and they got to talking.
Yeah?
I didn't say anything. I let them talk and acted interested.
Yeah?
I confess now, I'm terribly frightened. I spent the night with my sister-in-law. Could I stay here till you get this thing straightened out?
Certainly. We'll give you protection, Miss Thompson.
Now, what'd they tell you?
First, they got to talking about some girl called Ida May. I didn't catch the last name. Said they wondered if she saw them at the sanitarium.
Yeah?
Said they wished they'd finished the job that night, whatever that meant. Then Bud said, I don't think she saw us or we'd have heard.
Anything else?
Yes. Carl said, did you see the look on Gus's face when we opened up?
Then what?
They laughed.
I had a stenographer take Audrey Thompson's statement, and I filled in Captain Elliott, Rombo, Stromwall, and Ben. We checked the stakeout on the Shaker brothers' apartment. The suspects hadn't been seen since early that morning when they'd gone in. Detectives Rombo and Stromwall, together with Ben and I, drove to the Eagle Towers apartments. It was 4:35 p.m. Strommy and I'll go up the back way. We'll notify the men on stakeout to keep a sharp eye all around. Right. Let's go. Apartment 410 is the top floor. Yeah, let's take the elevator. Yeah. Push 4. Right. Just thinking. Yeah? That Thompson girl, long on nerve. It's this way. There it is. Cover me. Yeah. Police officers. You all right? Well, hit the door. Come on. Window's open so far as gate. Come on. There they go over by the ventilator. Watch it. There's Strommy and Rombo coming out the door under the roof. Rombo, watch it. They're up here. There goes one of them. Come on. All right, hold it right there. I give up. There goes the other one. He's making for that cable house. Stay with this one. I'll get him. All right, Shaker, let's put the gun away. You make a break onto the roof, they'll cut you down. Hold it, Shaker. You all right, Joe? Yeah. Did you shoot him? No. He was trying to make it to the roof. He grabbed that hot terminal over there and knocked him cold. Oh, yeah. Move your foot, will you? Yeah. What's that? White Panama hat.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 19th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 89, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Adolph Bud Shaker and his brother Carl Shaker were tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. On recommendation of the jury, they received life sentences. They are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, authentic cases from official police files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet from Los Angeles.
Tomorrow, hear the Ronald Colemans in the Halls of Ivy on NBC.
story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the Juvenile Bureau. The high schools in your city have been flooded with obscene literature. You stamp out one source, and a dozen more spring up. Your job, stop them.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild. Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, October 21st. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Inspector Lester, commander of the Juvenile Bureau. My name's Friday. It was 10 a.m. when we got to the auditorium of Canfield High School. Stage door.
Guess we go right out onto the stage.
Yeah, we better wait till we're called, though, huh?
You're the men from the police department?
Yes, sir. This is Sergeant Romero. My name's Friday.
Howdy do.
How do you do?
I'm Paul Fisher, the principal here. Come right out onto the stage and we'll get the meeting started.
Yeah, all right. Yes, sir.
Just have a chair there.
Thank you.
Is the microphone on? Ladies and gentlemen of the Coordinating Council, members of the Parent Teachers Association. As you know, this meeting has been called for the purpose of discussing ways and means to bring about an end to the distribution of the filthy and obscene books and pamphlets that have been littering every high school campus in the city of Los Angeles. We've tried every means at our disposal to clean this matter up, and they all seem to fail. On the advice of the Coordinating Council and Mrs. Randall to the PTA, we've called in the authorities. Here to discuss the matter with us this morning are two officers connected with the Juvenile Bureau of our police department. Sergeant Romero and Sergeant Friday. And now, may I turn the meeting over to Sergeant Friday of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the only way we're going to get to the bottom of this thing and put a stop to it is to get all the information we can on where this lascivious material is coming from. Now, you people, as parents and teachers of the children who are buying and reading this stuff, might be able to give us some help. So, if it's all right with you, Mr. Fisher, I'd like to hear from some of the people sitting out there, if I may.
Certainly. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Well, if any of you people have anything to say or any information, any questions, why, we'd be glad to listen to you and do our best to answer your questions.
Sergeant?
Yes, the lady out there, go right ahead.
I'm Mrs. Stein. I know of a place in our neighborhood that has dirty books. I feel sure that that's one of the places where the children are getting this trash. Complaints have been made to the police department, but the man who runs the place has never been arrested. Can you tell me why?
Well, ma'am, I think I'd better make it clear now that there's only one way a police officer can arrest anyone for possession of lewd literature. The officer has to prove that the party who possesses this literature does so for the purpose of selling it. Sometimes that's difficult to prove.
Well, I told you I can prove it.
You mean you can go to this place and buy a book from him?
Well, maybe I couldn't. But if I were known...
Yes, ma'am, that's just the point. Now, I don't know offhand about the one in your neighborhood, but I can assure you that we've cracked down on hundreds of such peddlers in the past few months. You can see for yourselves that this doesn't put a stop to it. We've got to get to the source.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir?
My name's Fred Scott. I'm director of the Square Shooters Boys Club.
Yes, sir.
Point I'm trying to make is, I know the young boys pretty well. With the exception of my boys, 49 in number, I'll wager just about every boy in this high school has one of those books. Or at least he's seen one.
Yes, sir. We're aware of that.
Point I'm trying to make is, somewhere in the municipal code, there's got to be a law to forbid such things.
Yes, sir, there is such a law.
Then why isn't it enforced?
It is.
What does the law say?
Well, how do you mean, sir?
Well, I mean, what happens when somebody's found guilty of selling these books? What's the penalty?
Oh, well, the law states that an offender is liable to fines, a jail term of 6 months, or both.
That's not much of a law, is it? Why isn't there a stronger law?
Well, I wouldn't know that, sir.
The point I'm trying to make is, we need laws with some teeth in them.
We have good laws in the state of California for the most part. It's true that we're weak in some cases, but you can say that about most states, I think.
Well, you may be satisfied with the laws, but I'm not. I'd say stronger laws. That's the answer.
No, I don't think it is, Mr. Scott. Passing a set of new laws isn't going to make this city a cleaner or a safer place for your boys to grow up in. Laws don't decide how moral a city's going to be. People do. Laws don't mold character in young boys either. The parents and teachers do that.
I don't think I know what you're getting at. What do you mean?
Well, just this, Mr. Scott. It's our job on the police department to keep filthy junk like these books from falling into youngsters' hands.
Yes?
Now, on the other side of the fence, the youngster has to be taught to recognize this obscene material for what it is, filth and garbage. And the youngsters have to be taught that in the home, in the school, and the church. Now, if they can be made to understand that the kind of dirt and filth that these books represent, well, that'd be worth more than any new set of laws, wouldn't it?
But what about these men who put out the books? The men who sell them? How do you reach them?
Through the youngsters. They seem to know the way. The next morning at 8 a.m., after meeting with Inspector Lester of Juvenile Bureau, Ben and I went on stakeout at Canfield High School. From past experience, we knew there was little hope of a quick end to the case. It was going to be a long haul, tracing the source all the way up the line from the high school kids who bought the filthy books to the small fry pushers, the wholesalers, and finally, we hoped, to the top, the man who printed the books. We had no illusions on that score. Generally, with the arrest of his pushers and other small-timers who work for him, the top man gets the alarm and clears out before the police officer can apprehend him with evidence that will stand up in court. During the first 2 days at Canfield High, Ben and I found out nothing. The obscene literature was being bartered and exchanged between students, but the main source of supply was still a mystery. We had one slim lead to go on. Mr. Fisher, the high school principal, helped run it down.
We've been watching that boy down in the yard since yesterday, Miss Fisher. Seems to have quite a bit of spending money, expensive clothes, car of his own.
I don't know that boy's family. They could be well fixed.
We saw him with a stack of those dirty books in his notebook. He must have had a dozen of them. He was showing them around to his crowd.
Travers, are you sure?
Joe, take a look down there.
Yeah. Yeah, Travers is showing him something. I can't see what it is.
Come over to this side of the window.
Yeah.
Small books. Mm-hmm. He's giving them to one of the other fellows.
They've got their wallets out. They're giving Travers money.
Come on, Ben. You better come too, Mr. Fisher.
Mm-hmm. This way out to the yard?
No, to the left. That's it.
Let's hurry, huh?
This door, Sergeant. Right here. Travers. Travers.
Hello, Mr. Fisher.
They'd like to talk to you.
Yeah?
These men here are from the police department. They want to ask you some questions.
Can we go inside?
Sure. Come on.
Oh. What's the matter, Mr. Fisher? I haven't done anything.
Oh, we'll see. Come on.
What is it? What's it all about?
Sergeant?
It'll be a lot easier if we have the truth now, son. Did you just sell those boys out there some dirty books?
No, I mean, it's only a gag. They're funny books.
Have you got any more of them on you?
Yes, sir.
Can we see them, please?
I didn't steal them. They're only books. Funny books. Here.
Thanks.
Almost a dozen.
Mm-hmm. You think these are funny books, do you, Travers?
Well, some of them. I guess not. It's only a gag, Sergeant.
Where'd you get them?
I didn't steal them. I bought them off a guy.
Who?
Why, I can't tell you.
Do you have any more of these books?
No, sir.
Will you show us your locker?
I can't remember the combination. It's a new locker.
Could you open the locker for us, Mr. Fisher?
Yes, but I'll have to get the maintenance man.
All right, I'll show you. Come on. Down here, sir. This one. 412. I've only got a couple.
All right, we'll see.
Come on, open it.
I haven't done anything.
Here's a sample, Joe. Locker's loaded down with them.
Rotten filth.
You can't arrest me. I don't sell the books, I only rent them.
Somebody's been briefing you. Who?
You're only making it hard on yourself, boy.
You can't prove anything. These are my books. I don't sell them.
Where do you get them? Who sold them to you?
Nobody. I got them, that's all.
All right. We'll have to talk to your folks.
You can't. They're away. No, you can't. Don't.
Afraid we'll have to, son.
Oh, please don't tell them. Please don't let them know I'll do anything.
All right, let's have the truth then. Who are you selling the books for?
His name's Barney. That's all I know. I meet him at a cigar store downtown, 5th and Harrison.
Does he sell you the books?
He gives them to me. I sell them and then give him the money. I get 10 cents for every one I sell.
How much do you sell them for?
25 cents. Some are $1. I get 30 cents for those.
And the boys in this school have been paying that kind of money for this filth?
Yes, sir.
This man who gives you these books, you know where he lives?
No, sir. I haven't any idea.
When are you going to see him?
Well, this is Wednesday. I was going to meet him downtown this afternoon.
The cigar store?
Yes, sir. But I don't want to get Barney in trouble. He's been okay to me.
Sure. He's done a lot for you. 4 p.m. Wednesday. Ben and I drove downtown with 16-year-old Eddie Travers. We parked the car near the corner of 5th and Harrison and kept an eye on the cigar store. We waited.
No sign yet, Travers?
No, sir. Barney usually waits by the newsstand there. I haven't seen him yet.
How long you been selling for this man, son?
About 3 months, maybe 4.
Any idea where he gets the books?
Well, Oh, just a minute, Sergeant.
Yeah?
I think... Yeah, that's Barney, the one going up to the cigar counter.
The man in the gray suit there?
Yeah, that's him. He's going into Juanita's cafe.
Is that where you usually go after you meet him?
Yes, sir.
You better take the boy back to the office, Ben. I'll tail this guy and see what I can find out.
Okay, you want me to pick you up later?
No, I'll call you at the office. Oh, you got any matches?
No, I'm out.
I'll pick some up at the cigar stand.
Right. See you later.
Yeah. Box of matches?
Oh, yeah?
And a pack of spearmint, too.
All right, sir.
Much obliged. Got a special on Old Tippecanoe bourbon today. $2.69 a fifth.
No, thanks.
Hey, Rosie. Rosie, another tamale when you get time, huh?
All right, Barney, just come in. Yes, sir.
Let me have chicken tacos, side order of fried beans, and a cup of coffee, huh?
Chicken tacos on one, side of beans. Another tamale. Anything else, Barney?
Yeah, some more coffee, huh, Rosie?
Tamale on one.
Hey. Slide the ketchup down there, will you?
Yeah, here you go.
Thanks. They got good tacos in there. Lots of meat of it. It's fresh stuff.
Yeah.
There's the sugar.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Rosie. Here, Rosie.
Yeah.
I got some new ones in just today. Whole stack them.
What are you talking about?
You know, the picture books. Good ones. You can make some money on the side. They'd sell good around here.
Listen, Barney, I told you once, no.
Oh, come on, here. Look them over. These are good ones.
I said no, that lousy junk. The next time you bring that stuff in here, I tell the boss, understand? Now eat and get out.
Well, that's a real funny day. Looks great, but boy, what a cold potato.
Yeah?
Come on, eat and get out and take that junk with you.
Cold potato. I don't like the chowder anyway.
Well, coffee's certainly cold.
Yeah. Yep. You'd probably get a big boot out of these. Take a look.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good quality stuff. Yeah. Give me that little book there. Let me show you one. Wait a minute. Yeah. Wouldn't that kill you?
Yeah. How about sell me one of them?
Okay. 4 bits for the small ones, $1 for the big ones. Wait a minute. Let's see, I got 14 of them here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make you a deal. You can have the whole works for $10.
Okay. You got any more?
Well, you going in business for yourself?
No, I got a newsstand out in Riverside. Books like this ought to go fast. I think I can probably handle another $25 worth.
Ah. I got the rest of them back at the hotel. Some of them are in color.
Yeah?
You want to meet me there tonight? Around 7?
Where's the hotel?
Well, you go straight up 6th Street from here. It's just 1 block on your left. Called the Denver House. I'm in room 337.
You going up there now?
Well, I was supposed to meet some guy, but... Yeah, we can go now. How about a check, Rosie, huh?
Yes.
Hey, you'll probably be wanting more of these. I can put you on my mailing list.
Okay. The prices are right. I don't want to pay retail.
Nah, we can work out a deal. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Hey, that Rosie, huh? She's really put together.
Yeah?
Too bad. A real cold potato, though.
Some are like that.
Yeah.
No sense of humor. We left Juanita's Cafe and walked up Harrison Street to 6th. We turned left and went down 1 block. It was 5 minutes to 5 when we got to Barney's room in the Denver house, number 337. He dragged out a steamer trunk from under the bed and counted out a stack of books and pamphlets covering the general topic of degenerate filth in stories and photographs.
Okay, Mac, there you are. It's $25 worth. Give me the money and the bucks are all yours.
Okay. There you go. There's 10, 15, 18. I'll have to give you a check for the rest.
How do I know it's any good? You could take off. I'd never see you again.
You'll see me. You're under arrest.
Huh? Hey, you're kidding. Hey, let go.
All right, let's hold it right here.
Hey, wait a minute. Oh, now, look, Lieutenant, we can work this thing out.
We'll work it out downtown.
Wait a minute. I can set this thing right for you.
Where are you getting this junk? Who's supplying you?
Oh, look, why not use your head? You never get the top, man. Not in 10 years you won't.
We got lots of time. Come on.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
If you smoke a long cigarette, it will be in your interest to listen to a typical case history of a Fatima smoker.
It's the case of Mr. Joseph G. Hertzberg, city editor of one of New York's great newspapers, and this is his actual signed statement.
I recommend Fatimas to anyone who likes a king-size cigarette. In my business, the long hours really put smoking to the test. Working overtime means smoking overtime, and that has sold me on Fatimas. No matter how often I light up, Fatima gives me an extra mild smoke. And Fatima flavor, it's much better every time. I found out it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
And more smokers are discovering this every day. Actual figures show Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So enjoy Fatima yourself.
The long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
The best of all long cigarettes.
The filthy literature racket feeds on the curiosity of youngsters and the stupidity and ignorance of adults. It's an all-season business, and in its own quiet way, it has reached a market which the other heavy rackets never hoped to reach. Your home and your children. 6 p.m., Wednesday, October 23rd. We checked the records, and the make sheet showed true name to be Timpson, 38 years old. He had a past record of one previous conviction for peddling lewd literature in Dodge City, Iowa in March 1948. We had him brought to the interrogation room.
Sit down, Timpson.
Okay. Let's make it easy, Barney. Where are you getting the books?
I told you, Sergeant, they deliver them to me.
Who does?
Different guys. I don't remember them all. I send different guys every time.
How often do they make the deliveries to you?
Once a month.
When?
Around the first, usually. Sometimes maybe the second and the third.
They bring the books to your hotel?
Yeah, they leave a pack of them in the lobby addressed to me.
They ever use the mails?
They never do. They're not that dumb.
So you've never seen the men that you do business with, huh?
Not so I'd know them, no.
You have no idea where they're operating from?
I don't know.
You expect us to swallow that?
I'm telling you, I don't know.
Oh, don't push us that kind of a story, Barney.
I'm giving it to you straight. Now, what else do you want?
Who's the supply man?
Hey, look, we found this notebook in your hotel room, Barney. There's a list of names in it. Is this your customer book?
Friends. Okay, they're customers.
It gives us enough to land on you.
I know that. I've told you everything.
You still don't know who you're working for.
No.
Look, there's a phone number in this notebook. No name to go with it.
Yeah?
No, look at it. This one right here.
I don't know. Must be another customer. Yeah.
Does it belong to the boss?
I don't know the boss. He don't know me.
Then who do you buy the books from?
Who says I buy him?
You must owe somebody a lot of money.
Don't worry. I don't owe him nothing. He don't owe me nothing.
He does now.
What?
You're going to jail for him. Barney Timpson was booked into Central Jail for violation of the Penal Code, Section 311.3. We contacted the telephone company, and they traced the extra phone number in Timpson's notebook to a private residence on Wonderview Drive in Laurel Canyon. A detail of men was assigned to stake out on the place. During the next week, mainly from information obtained from Barney Timpson's customers, 7 other peddlers of obscene books and pamphlets were taken into custody and questioned. 5 of the 7 told us they picked up their supply of books from the Laurel Canyon address. We moved in on the place and found thousands of lewd books and pamphlets stored in the garage. 3 men on the premises were taken into custody. They identified themselves as John Alexander, George Kelleher, and Raymond Kester. We brought them downtown and interrogated them for 2 hours. They refused to admit anything. They were booked in, but by noon their lawyers arrived and they were released on writs of habeas corpus. 2 p.m. Ben and I met with Inspector Lester of Juvenile Bureau.
Just had a call from the men on stakeout at the Laurel Canyon place. They've just been over the garage where the books are stored.
They get anything, Skip?
A couple of things. Might be fair leads.
What's that?
3 stacks of books they found were wrapped in proof letterheads from the Havenbrook Hotel.
Yeah?
We checked with the hotel. They get all their printing done at Rudolph Brothers, place out in West L.A.
That name's not familiar to me.
It's a big layout. Their specialty is religious books, Bible, things like that.
That doesn't add.
Not so sure.
How do you mean?
Be a perfect cover for the racket. Printing the Bible one day and a flock of filthy books the next. Could be the setup.
What kind of a name does this Rudolph's place have around town? They've been here long?
50 years. Good reputation.
Well, we could give it a look.
Where's the place?
On West 3rd, just below Athens Street.
All right.
Check the place over, but don't make them suspicious. If there's anything wrong, no use tipping until we're ready to move.
Right, Skipper.
We got to reach the presses turning out this junk and choke off the supply where it starts. Do that and we got it beat.
Right.
Just a minute. Juvenile Bureau, Lester. Yeah, Tom. Down where? Okay, they'll be right out. Gross and Pacelli, they spotted one of the delivery cars.
Where?
Downtown. They followed it out to West L.A.
Yeah?
Rudolph's printing shop.
4 p.m., Ben and I, together with 2 other men from Juvenile Bureau, drove out Beverly Boulevard to Athens Street and then down 1 block to the corner of West 3rd where we picked up Gross and Pacelli on stakeout. The Rudolph Brothers Printing Company covered almost half a square block on the corner of West 3rd and Athens. The front of the plant had display windows featuring expensive leather-bound Bibles and other religious literature. While the other men remained on stakeout, Ben and I crossed the street and entered the plant. We introduced ourselves to the clerk in charge as potential wholesale customers, and we asked to be shown around the shop. It was more than obliging.
I'd be happy to show you our plant, gentlemen. The most modern religious publication company in the West. That's our claim. Would you step this way, please?
Thank you.
On your left there, those are 3 of our new Ludlow machines. Excellent mechanisms, needless to say.
Mm-hmm. You must employ quite a few men in here.
65 full-time. Enough to meet any emergency rush jobs you might want done. Now, over here are Bush Emerson hand presses.
Oh. You handle only religious books then, huh? Nothing else?
That's right, sir. We specialize exclusively in that.
You don't take in any small contracts, school journals, things like that?
No, our steady customers take up all of our time. Here on this stone, you see the pages of a new prayer book we're getting together. Very ultra.
Mm-hmm.
An entirely different kind of typeface.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, and back there, along the wall, are new linotypes. The very latest, monotypes. Then the proof presses. Next to them are proof readers. And the flatbed trussload press beyond that.
Seems like lots of activity. Business is pretty good, I guess, huh?
Oh, yes, we're kept pretty busy. Quality printing is always in demand.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for showing us around.
Not at all, gentlemen. Anytime. Here, this way out.
All right.
I'll get you one of my cards here. There you are.
Oh, thank you.
And when you're ready to do business, why, just give me a call. I'd be glad to take care of you.
All right, sir, thanks. We'll do that.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
All right. What do you think?
You got me. Nothing out of place.
Yeah, whatever system they're using, they got it down pat.
Bibles, prayer books, church announcements. That's all I saw.
Hey, Ben, look. That man getting out of that car going into Rudolph's there?
Alexander, the guy we picked up this morning on Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
I don't know, but it's got to be somewhere in that print shop. We went back to the car and waited. The stakeout on Rudolph's printing plant continued. 6 p.m. The lights in the display windows went out. The shades were drawn. We watched the employees leave. 6:30 p.m. The lights in the plant were still burning. Gross went down to the corner and picked up some hot dogs and coffee for our dinner. We ate in the car. 7:30 p.m. A black Cadillac convertible pulled up across the street. 2 men got out and let themselves in through the front door. We waited. Between 7:30 and 8 p.m., we counted 21 men entering the plant.
That printing press is starting up.
Okay, let's move. Hey, Gross, you and Pacelli want to go through the back, and Ben and I'll take the front.
Right, let's go, Mike.
Come on. It's a neat setup. I had it all figured.
Yeah, you didn't spot any side entrances, did you?
No. Here we are.
Can you try the door?
Yeah, it's no good.
All right.
Who is it?
Police officers, open up. All right, come on, open up.
The press is stopped.
All right, let's hit it quick. Come on, again.
There we go.
There they are, Joe.
They're trying to smash the plates. Come on.
Pacelli, save those plates.
Watch it, Ben. All right, come on.
All right, you. All right, hold it.
Hold against the wall. Hey, Gross, get those plates off the press, will you? All right, hold it, you two.
Joe, look out.
All right.
Get the plates, Joe.
I round up those men and keep the doors covered.
Get away from those tables. Come on over to the wall. That's about most of them, Joe.
Those 2 men going out the door. Come on, head them off, will you?
Come on, you. Come on, back in.
All
Get
right.
out, wait. Get your hands off her.
Hold it up, mister. Come on, over there with the rest.
You'll pay for this. I'll sue you down your last nick.
Yeah, come on, simmer down.
Hey, Joe, we got Rudolph going out the back.
Right. Call the office, will you? We're going to need transportation.
Okay.
Take those 2 with you, huh?
All right, come on.
Well, we got enough evidence against them.
Yeah, we're going to need it.
2 full pages of the junk right here.
Yeah.
Look. Right next to it.
Yeah. Page from the Bible.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On January 9th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 94, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Frank Rudolph and 16 of his accomplices were tried and convicted of possessing lewd and lascivious literature for the purpose of sale. They received sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their terms in the county jail.
Remember this Saturday, because that means Dimension X on NBC.
Figured he's getting too big for his pants. He's coming up fast. Stepped on a lot of toes on the way. Shouldn't be too tough to find out why.
That's half of it. If we get that much, maybe we can find out who.
You got a big field to pick from. I can find you a dozen possibles.
Well, we don't need a dozen. All we want are the ones in that car this afternoon.
Who do you figure, Captain Moore?
Well, I kind of go along with Joe. Like I said, I think maybe we'll be able to peg Bly a little faster. And we can go from there.
All right.
Well, let's take what we know about the guy. Let's just take this past year. We know he's got more than a good share of the Mexican narcotics traffic. That means he's taking business from the Eastern Syndicate.
That makes one of those boys a candidate.
That's right. Then there's the pinball machines. He's given Big Ernie Jacobs and Monk Watson a big push on those.
That puts him in the running.
Yeah, that's a long list. The horses, fancy poker games, prostitution, the works. He's squeezing them all. A lot of guys could be shooting at him with a machine gun.
Where do we start?
Legwork, lots of it, fast. We'll start nosing around, see what we can pick up. Friday, you and Romero can give us a hand there.
Yes, sir.
All right with you, Elliot?
Fine.
I don't have to tell you we've got to move as quick as we can. We've got a lot of places to hit, and we haven't got too much time. We'll keep Valentine under surveillance to make sure he doesn't try to square things with a gun.
Yeah. This is one the taxpayers wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Trying to keep a guy alive that'd be more dangerous dead. Wednesday, July 19th. Ben and I started making the rounds to find out why someone was out to get Gus Valentine. Captain was right. The list of his enemies was long. For 2 days, we talked to gamblers and bartenders at the usual hangouts. The few slim leads we picked up led nowhere. Saturday, July 22nd, we met with one of Ben's informants, a bar boy at a cafe out on Santa Monica Boulevard.
That's him over there at that table.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry? How are you?
Hiya, Ben. Grab a chair.
You know my partner, don't you?
Sure. Sit down, Joe. Want a beer?
No, thanks. We're working.
Coke?
You okay?
One's enough. We'll
Here you go. Good and cold. Doctor cut me down 1 beer a day. It's a spot on a hot day, don't it?
But keeping your nose clean.
This is a switch, isn't it? Man gets shot at, cops read riot act, innocent victim.
Look, we know you and we know that crowd you run with. If you want to start a war, run a battlefield. Don't pick the streets of Los Angeles to fight it out.
I think I asked for it the way you men talk.
You did somewhere up and down the line. We know your operation. You walk the sideline marker all the way. Always got 1 foot inside the law. When you make yourself a target for some punk's machine gun, that's where you step outside.
Oh, what are you going to do? Eat me out and let the man with the machine gun get away?
We'll get him, whether you want to help us or not. We just don't have the time to run around jamming a cork in the barrel of every gun in town.
Before you get out of this car, let this sink in. There's not going to be any innocent people cut down by bullets that were meant for you.
Oh, I get it. My tax money's no good, huh? I pay a bigger chunk than most of the clouds in this town.
You haven't got a clear title to the city yet, and until you do, don't set up a shooting gallery.
Oh, what do I do? Dig a foxhole till you get ready to tab whoever's taking pot shots at me?
You can tell us who it is.
You got all I know. Don't you think I'd want him picked up?
I think you're a liar. I think you better square your beef and knock off this gangster stuff. It's not going to be any more of this kind of thing, understand?
That's the trouble with civil service. It makes a big man out of you $200 a month. I've never passed an exam, but I keep in step.
You missed the first one, from the gutter to the sidewalk. Almost without exception, every city in the United States has its Gus Valentine. These men remain out of custody, not because of any lack of law enforcement, but because of their ability to hide behind the laws which are designed to protect the innocent and use them to their own advantage. They operate allowing only the thinnest margin possible between themselves and the state penitentiary. We drove back to Central Division. At 6:18 p.m., we were called to the chief of detective's office.
He wouldn't give you anything, huh?
Not a thing. Usual line of smart talk.
Who's ever after him meant business. Those storefronts were a mess.
Yeah, they won't quit now. Just a minute. What's that intelligence number?
2821.
Oh, yeah. This is Brown. Captain White gone home? No, ask him to come up to the office, would you, please? Thanks.
If they do manage to tag Valentine, could cause a pretty sour mess.
He's got enough flunkies around to parlay it into a fair-sized shooting war. Seen him started on less.
Was there any chance of pulling Valentine in until things simmer down?
No chance. We got nothing on him. Nothing we can prove.
He's got a few boys close to him. Maybe one of them could tell her.
Same 2 lawyers work for all of them. We'd pull them in, they'd be out in an hour in a writ.
You want to see me? Yeah, White. Sit down. That Valentine shooting this afternoon.
Yeah.
What's your guess?
There's been some talk. We heard he was hot. You knew that.
Yeah. Way we...
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. Attempts have been made on the life of a notorious hoodlum in your city. His death could mean an open gang war. Your job, stop it.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, July 18th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 5:35 p.m. when we got out of the car at Sunset Boulevard and Paris Avenue and walked down the street to the scene of the machine gunning, Lupo's Cafe.
Look at that, Joe.
Yeah.
Lift up the whole front of the place.
Yeah. Hi.
Yes, sir.
Romero and Friday, homicide.
Oh, I'm Sheldon from Hollywood Division. Taylor and I picked up the call in our car. Nobody hurt.
What's the story?
Just a second. It's Captain Elliott. Hold it a minute, will you, Sheldon?
Hi.
Hi, Captain.
Not much of it left.
Sheldon here was in the cruiser car. He'll fill us in.
All right.
The intended victim was Gus Valentine. He's over there with Taylor, my partner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
According to Valentine, he stopped in the restaurant here for a drink. He was in there about 15 minutes, came out to hail a cab, and this car came around the corner. Down there, Sunset and Clayton. They whipped by close to the curb and opened up.
Mm-hmm. I've got the laundry there on one side of the place and a dry cleaning joint on the other side.
Yes, sir. Miracle, but nobody was hit.
Did you get anything on the car?
Nothing so far. Happened so fast, nobody got a good look at it.
How about Valentine? Does he have any idea?
I don't know. Taylor's getting the information.
Nobody saw anything? Any witnesses?
Yes, sir. A couple. Newsboy Tim Benson, the lady in the dry cleaning place, Agnes Rebard.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them got a license number.
Okay. I'd like to talk to Valentine.
Sheldon, keep the area clear, will you? Lab men are on their way out.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Oh, I told you I had many ideas.
Green Fort Sedan, that it?
Yeah.
Elliott, Central Homicide.
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Valentine, the intended victim.
Yeah. This is Sergeant Friday, Sergeant Romero.
Sergeant Friday, how are you?
Fine. It's been a long time.
Finally got out of the uniform, huh?
7 years ago. Who was it, Gus?
If I knew, I'd tell you. I don't like being shot at.
Let's go sit in the car. This way, Valentine.
You want to get him back? All right.
All right. What's the story, Valentine?
How do you mean?
Let's not play it cozy. Who's after you?
You suppose this would have happened if I knew?
Who's carrying the beef? Somebody's unhappy with you. You must know who.
I don't. You know what kind of a car it was? I told the other cop over there. Sedan, green Ford.
We're not going to press you, Valentine. You might as well know how we peg this kind of thing.
Yeah?
We got your number, had it for a long time. You're all up and down the blotter from Lincoln Heights to the county jail. You got a record everybody in this town knows about.
Aren't you a little mixed up? I'm the guy that got shot at.
We know that.
I pay my taxes for protection, not a lecture on my past.
Let me give you the word, Valentine. I've known you for a long time, and I've read about you in the newspapers. I've watched your so-called climb from two-bit penny ante rackets all the way up. Now, you've been told more than once about...
Yeah. What about Valentine?
What about him?
You hear anything since I phoned you?
A couple of things. Word's getting around. He's a welcher.
Horses?
I don't know. Big money. Hasn't paid off yet.
Who does he owe?
I can give you the name of one of them. Sal Tapper.
I don't know him.
Meatpacking business, wholesaler. Got a big plant down at 54th and Commercial. Owns a little neighborhood bar. That's where he spends most of his time.
Where's that?
Gardena. Calls it the Mile High.
What about this salt tapper?
What do you mean?
How close is he to Valentine?
You mean one of his boys?
Yeah.
No. Valentine's his book, that's all.
Well, supposing Valentine owed him a wad of dough, would he push his point?
How do you mean?
Would he use pressure to collect?
Maybe a meat cleaver, not a machine gun. I don't figure him in on that Tuesday caper. Sure you don't want this set of coke?
No, thank you. What time you go to work?
Plenty of time. One bottle of beer ain't hardly enough.
Any rumbles about the shooting?
How do you mean?
Anything worth repeating?
Oh, everybody says the same thing. He's got it coming.
Who is everybody?
The homeowners, neighborhood Joes. They got it all pegged.
What's the popular guess?
A dame.
Well, that's about it, huh, Jerry?
That's about it.
What's your guess?
Fresh out, I don't know. How come you guys are so worried about Gus Valentine? I didn't think you cared whether he lived or died.
Either way, we're in trouble. We left the cafe on Santa Monica Boulevard and drove out to Gardena to the Mile High Bar. It was a typical neighborhood tavern with the windows painted in black except for two small ovals in the center of each window. They were filled with beer signs and red neon. The cloth sign advertised shuffleboard and life-size television. Inside, the walls were covered with alpine mountain climbers trying to fight their way up a mountain that looked twice as steep as the Matterhorn. Give me 10 nickels, will you, Leonard? Can you tell us where we can find Sal Tapper?
Yeah, I'm in. Thanks, Lynn. What do you want?
Police officers. I'd like to talk to you.
Sure, what about?
Gus Valentine.
Yeah? He owes me money.
Is that all you've got against him?
As much as he owes me, that's enough. It's a real tough machine to do.
How much money does he owe you?
Enough.
How long's he been booking for you?
I didn't say he was booking for me.
No, we did.
About 2 years.